Hi there, this is Jenna from All Star Paws Dog Training, and I am so glad that you found my video. I am doing this loose leash walking video because I know that so many of you out there struggling with getting your dogs to stop pulling. I also know that there is a ton of equipment that you can choose from, that you can try, whether it's a harness, whether it's a gentle leader, whether it's something more adversive like a prong collar or a choke collar. I am a positive trainer and I don't recommend using choke collars. In fact, to be honest, I would prefer, if you're going to go that route, that you actually use a prong collar. A choke collar can truly damage your dog's throat. Any collar can, but a choke collar really can. It can also really damage their spine. It can give them a collapsed trachea. It's really not good for them at all. So if you're going to go with either the choke or the prong, please choose the prong. And if you check out my website, you know I am a strictly positive reinforcement trainer. That doesn't mean that I never use punishment. It's just that I pick and choose how I use it. It also means that I try not to use equipment that's going to hurt my dog to get a behavior that I want. But again, the choke collar is really not safe for your dog. So anyway, real quick, before we go into the meat and potatoes of how you do this, I wanted to talk a little bit about equipment, because to be honest, it doesn't matter what type of equipment you have on your dog can learn to pull on anything if you allow them to. So if you are currently using a collar and your dog is pulling on that and you decide to go to a harness, you will notice a difference using the harness, that your dog won't be pulling as hard. But then what you'll notice in a couple months or so is that your dog is pulling again. The reason for that is they can learn how to pull on any piece of equipment. So your job is to switch up the equipment if you want, which is going to help you teach your dog a new behavior, and then implement a training program that actually changes the behavior you don't want. So in the video that's coming up, the dog that I'm using, his name is Finn. This is the first time that I've used this technique with him. It is explained in the video, but I'm also going to include below a link where you can actually get a printout of the PDF that gives you the exact instructions of how to implement this. The video is really just going to help you see what it looks like while you're doing it, and maybe give you a little bit more of a hands-on experience. Well, as much as hands-on we can do through a video. But I hope that it helps you. Please share your experience with me. Let me know how it goes. And definitely go and get the free PDF. Enjoy watching Finn and have a great day. Hi there. So I'm going to try and take this video about how to stop pulling. This is Finn. And so one of the things that I'm going to show you is when you're walking, what we want to teach our dogs is that any tension on the leash makes the walk stop. Right now I'm just letting him sniff. I'm talking to you, I'm trying to explain to you what I'm going to be doing. Need to get my wits about me so that while I'm doing this I can stop talking. But what we're going to teach them is that when there is any tension on the leash, the walk stops. As soon as there is any release on the leash, the walk continues. What I'm going to do is mark it with a yes, so that the dog understands exactly which behavior is making the walk continue. And also I'm going to put a cue word afterwards of let's go, so that it means that we can keep walking. So what I want you to pay attention to is the tension in the leash, and then the pressure release that there is when I do the yes. It may be a little bit difficult to see, but this is actually probably the best angle I can give you while doing this with the dog in front of me. So let's see how it goes. Come on, Finn, let's go. Good boy. Yes, let's go. Yes, let's go. Okay, so since he's scratching right now, a lot of dogs will come back to you and sit. And the reason I don't like that is because I don't want the dog to think that they can go to the end of the leash and then come back in, sit, and move forward when you stop, because all that teaches them, yes, let's go, is that they sit, yes, let's go, and then the walk continues. What we want them to understand is that When the leash is loose, the walk continues. We just don't want any pressure on the leash. And so the better they get at it, the more we start asking for less and less pressure until, yes, good boy, let's go. Until the dog starts to understand that the pressure release on the leash is what makes the walk continue. Sorry guys, I'm trying to pay attention to him, make sure you guys are in video, and still make sure I'm marking and rewarding the right behavior. Like right now, the turning of the head was really not a release. Yes, let's go. That actually was though, because his body stopped pulling away. Waiting a little bit longer. It's actually really loose. I should have marked it and released it. That was my bad. Gonna see if I get anything else though. Yes, let's go. Good boy. So one of the things I'm doing too is I'm paying attention to his walking speed so that as he picks up, I know I'm gonna stop. I'm really not getting more than one step. Good boy, let's go. Okay, so there I'm stopping. You can also, yes, let's go. You can also feel it start to get tighter. Now what I do, yes, let's go, good boy. Now what I do also, that time I got much more walks, is I put my weight in my heels as if I'm going to sit in a chair. And the reason I do that is I don't want to use my upper body strength. Because in using my upper body strength, I can't compete with a big dog. If I'm using all of my weight, yes, let's go. If I'm using all of my weight, I can actually have better control. That was actually pretty good. Yes, let's go, good boy. So here, and what you'll notice a little bit is he is getting it a little faster. Right now he's a little distracted. There was a person walking up there. Yes, let's go. Yes, let's go. We're also walking by his house right now, so he thinks we're going down the driveway, and we're not. Good boy. Now he's walking more on my side. We got looser leash. That's still good, I'll take it. Ooh, that was almost a self-release. It was pretty close. There is much better. If you notice, there's a lot of loose leash, more loose leash in this. Now also, just so you know, I just started working with him on this just now. Oh, we got tight leash there. Yes, good boy, let's go. I'm gonna switch directions. Hi there. Switch directions. Now we're heading back to his driveway, so he's gonna pull more, and that's pretty normal. Also may take me a little bit longer before he pays attention and self-releases. So I'm just kind of gonna wait it out. Yes, let's go. Now also when we get to his driveway, I'm not gonna let him pull me down it. Yes, let's go, good boy. Okay, so I'm gonna intentionally walk past his driveway. Yes, let's go. Because he is gonna pull me down it. Yes, let's go, good boy. And so I want him to understand that when I'm leading the walk, he's very itchy. That might be a little bit of stress. Could also be the tension on the collar bothering him. I want him to understand. Come on, Bub, let's go. Good boy. Good job, Mister. Come on. Good boy. Yay, good job. Let's go. Good boy. Now he's walking behind me. Okay. So that was actually really good. Now, too, just so you know, that was about 6 minutes. And again, I have not done this with him before. We did not cover a lot of ground. We're heading back in the direction that we first started. So we didn't cover a lot of ground, which in the beginning you're going to start really slow. And you're going to take this from location to location and do exactly the same steps. Okay? Until, yes, let's go, good boy. Until you get no pulling on the leash. It's not about, we're not doing loose leash walking where you're rewarding them for walking close to you. Yes, let's go. You are doing loose leash walking and rewarding them with the walk, because the walk itself is the reinforcement. Continuing to move, yes, let's go. Continuing to move forward is the reinforcement for them and the reward. Yes, let's go. You can also reward them with a sniff, which we're gonna do, but the dog is not allowed to drag you there. Just a reminder of what to do. 1, stop when there is tension on the leash and collar. 2, wait for your dog to release the tension. 3, mark with yes or good. 4, cue the walk with let's go. Hi there, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed watching Finn, and I hope that you learned something. I thought it was pretty amazing that it really only took about 6 minutes before I started seeing some results. I remembered after filming the first part that there were a couple things that I wanted to include. 1, the reason I don't use treats to reward this behavior, because I want the dog to understand that the walk is the reward, and most dogs find walks reinforcing on their own, so we don't have to teach them that it's rewarding. And I don't want the dog to walk next to me all the time in a loose leash heel, paying attention to me when I only have cookies. The other thing is I also want them to understand that when there's pressure at the leash or at the collar or the harness, wherever the pressure comes from, that actually stops the walk. So they're the ones who make the decision of whether or not the walks continue. So I want to let the dogs know that the walking is the reward. So that's why I don't use treats for there. I do, however, bring cookies with me. Yes, I call them cookies. If I have a dog who tends to be reactive and barks at people or other dogs, or who easily gets distracted with different things. And so I'll bring the treats with me just in case I need them to get the dog redirected and focused on me while having to pass one of those distractions. The other thing I wanted to say about this is this training technique will work for you. It will work everywhere. The only thing you need to do is make sure that you generalize. What do I mean by generalize? I mean that you cannot teach your dog on your street only and then expect to go around the block to a festival or a carnival with a ton of people and expect your dog to have the same exact behavior that they do on your empty, quiet block. It doesn't work that way. What you need to do is start with your block, go to your next block, go to a park, relatively empty park, and build up to it as you get with more and more traffic, foot traffic, people, dogs, bikes, kids, football games, soccer games, anything like that. Slowly build up to it. Make sure every time you go to a new place that you expect to go back to kindergarten, as we like to call it. And that basically just means reinforce that this behavior applies everywhere. So you want to do the stop, wait for the release, and then mark it, and then let's go every time your dog pulls in all different places. If you do this, I promise you, if you do this in a couple weeks, you will have a dog who is pretty much not pulling you anywhere you go. You'll need to consistently do it, especially if you've had a dog who's been pulling you for a long time. You're going to have to consistently do it because pulling is super reinforcing and your dog will enjoy doing it all the time. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. Please, please, please share your experience on how it helped you. I would love to hear it. It would also help other people know that it really works and that it's not just me telling you that it works. I would love that. And again, remember to print out the PDF below so that you can get the written instructions so that you can read through them so that you have a reminder. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it so much. And happy training.